affect your actions? How can our attitudes get in the way? The biblical standpoint on attitudes, how to overcome it, and ways to work through it. So stay tuned till the end because you never know what small piece of advice will be in here that you need to hear. In between the beginning and the end, I will relate it to PTSD as well. So welcome, brothers and sisters. But cursed be the deceiver which hath in his flock a male, and voweth and sacrificeth unto the Lord a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, saith the Lord of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen. Malachi chapter 2, verse 14. So just like then, literally pick a time in history, worlds in our own, we as humans complain about our circumstances when the actual circumstance is our fault. Example, you walk along and you accidentally stumble in a pothole that someone covered with leaves and you break your ankle. Not in your control. Or, example 2, you see the pothole on the way to a job you dread and purposely avoid the pothole, thus twisting your ankle, or even being at the job and seeing a wet spot on the floor and then walking through it instead of avoiding it, thus falling and getting hurt. Both things could have been avoided and yes, would be your fault. However, it goes on integrity. Shifting the blame is easy, and as society, we have made it that way as a collective whole to avoid the guilt of the actual things we do. We then blame whatever caused the pothole, even though we may have seen it. Living with PTSD, we can choose to continue to lay down or stand up with God. Now, we couldn't control the circumstances that led to the PTSD, and especially the CPTSD. However, we can learn as we continue to grow in our minds to live with looking at ourselves first and what we can take accountability for. That's where our control is, and that's it. We don't have to take accountability for anyone else's actions or emotions, which can be hard in itself. However, when we change our attitudes or behaviors, the elephant in the room goes away, making room for clear communication and thought processing. God can help with this. Saying a little prayer doesn't have to be long, just this little simple, God, I need help, and then state what you need help with. He's listening. So when we see a problem, we need to face it head on, not run into it and not shift the blame. We then need to start to take accountability for our actions, which is also reinforcing to our brains and vice versa, making it to where we start to trust ourselves in holding integrity, meaning doing the right thing when no one is watching, i.e. humans here, because yes, God is always watching, as we know. As well as starting to really pray and speak to God and ask him to help to change your attitude or behaviors. They don't have to be huge bad behaviors, or they could be literally the worst behaviors in the entire world. I promise God has seen them all. When we start to actually face head on ourselves and realize that the only person we are in competition with is ourselves and who we were yesterday, that's who we need to improve. That's where our control lays. Not with anyone else, not even our spouses or our kids. They are their own people, and no matter how close our paths are or at times share, they're still their own person. Yes, we share one flesh with our spouses. Yes, they still must take accountability for themselves. You can't make them. That's God's job. And God is a God of choice. He won't make anyone. However, when we do what is right and follow God and what he wants in our lives will organically start to illuminate and brighten. So yes, taking accountability and looking in the mirror at our own actions and attitudes, though painful in the moment, will lead to long-term sustaining overall happiness. So please leave a comment below. I read them all. And please subscribe, hit the bell so you can get more encouraging content from Jan. Thanks, brothers and sisters. See you next time.